will it not, Nigel?
Yes, absolutely, but just watching the cars very carefully, he's now sort of maintained the gap to Martini on the last lap. So I just wonder whether he's had a little bit of a misfire, but the car certainly seems to be working okay now. But Martini and Ferte have definitely closed on him.
Well, one of the things we were wondering before this race was whether the track would actually dry out and we would be presented with the spectacle of the cars wearing out their wet weather tyres and having to come in for slicks. But I'm afraid there's no danger of that at all, because certainly here in our position at the start-finish straight, it's wetter than ever, and you can see the water standing as Sala goes past his pit, glances across to the left to see the pit signals, and then comes down from fifth gear. Oh, and there's been quite a business down there. One of the cars is Alain Ferte's number 11. A couple of cars have spun on the entry to the Belgrade Middleway chicane, and one of them, and the other one is GilbertScott. GilbertScott's car, number 3. Alain Ferte's is the white March, number 11. The hard work marshals now running across to try to move Ferte's car, which is incapacitated and
they're
just
stopping
off
the
the
race
racing
now.
line.
They're putting a red flag out, Simon.
Yes, we've got a red flag. What a shame. The organisers have wisely decided that in these very slippery conditions, they've got to move those cars that are blocking the road. There is also a considerable amount of debris in other parts in the circuit, and so now they're going to have to stop. We've just about got to half distance, because at the end of this lap, as the red flag came out, 25 laps had been completed. So it looks, Nigel, as though what we're actually going to have here is a Birmingham Super Prix, which will be run in 2 halves.
Yes, I think so. If they had reached 39 laps, they could actually stop it with a checkered flag, but now they've only done 25, I think they'll have to run it in 2 halves.
So we're going to be presented, it seems, with a 2-heat race, and let's just look down the lap chart now and see what the order has been at the end of 25 laps. Sala still the leader, but that lead had come all the way down from 17 seconds to 2.3 when the flag came out. In fact, the flag came out at the end of 25 laps. This will be the order at the end of 24. 2.3 seconds, Sala's lead over Martini. And then we've got Michel Ferte a further 4 seconds down in 3rd place. Salazar had also closed up to within 11 seconds of the leader. Salazar and Fabre 3rd and 4th in the 2 Lolas. I should say 4th and 5th in the 2 Lolas. And Russell Spence in 6th place in the Onyx March. So that's the situation here at the Birmingham Super Prix after half the race. We're going to have to do it all again when they've cleared the wreckage, so we're going to get a 2-part Birmingham Super Prix for you. We'll be back after this break. Back here in Birmingham, things are a little bit quieter because we're now at the stage where they're clearing up the wreckage. There were, in fact, several wrecks which had to be cleared, but the one that actually stopped the race was the one where GilbertScott and Alain Ferte, one of the 2 Ferte brothers, tangled under braking for the Belgrave Middleway chicane. There are their 2 cars. Number 3 is GilbertScott's car. The white March behind it is Alain Ferte's. And so the clerk of the course, John Nicol, had to take the very difficult decision to stop the race, because those 2 cars were in a dangerous place. They were just in the approach to the Belgrave Middleway chicane. There are several other cars which are draped around the scenery all the way around this 2.47-mile circuit, witness to the really terrible conditions we've had. It's been raining non-stop all the time, and as a result, the race having been stopped, the red flag in fact came out at the end of the 25th lap. There are 50 laps in the race as a whole, which means that they will take the order after 24 laps. They will then run a second half of the race, and they will add the times together of the 2 races and decide a winner on aggregate. Well, Nigel Mansell, you've been watching this race with me, we've been looking at Sala without his nose cone, doing a tremendous job at the front, and presumably he must be rather pleased about this because he can now get the front of his car mended.
Absolutely, I think he'll be absolutely delighted. Martini and Furte were catching him, and now with this unscheduled stop, he's going to be able to have his car repaired, and whatever the problems he had are going to be fixed. So I think he's still a hot favourite to carry this race off. And saying that, Martini and Furte have the opportunity, as well as Eliseo Salazar, to perhaps improve their car and their settings, and therefore be a greater threat to him. It's great to see Russell Spence up there still in 6th place, so I think we shall have a very, very good second race.
And presumably there's no reason why none of them, why any of them can't make any adjustments they like to the setup of the car between the two heats.
That's absolutely right. I mean, one thing they're not allowed to do, and that's obviously refuel. I mean, but there's no problems with that in this formula. But they'll be able to alter all the aerodynamic settings if they wish, and if they want to, you can actually change the rear springs of a car in 5 or 10 minutes, and we're certainly going to have a delay of probably in excess of 20. So they'll be able to improve.
Right, well, that's the position here, and out there in the rain, watching it all, Tony Francis.
Yes, what a beautiful place to be it is as well, Simon. Well, while the wreckage is being cleared and we await a decision on whether this race is going to be restarted, we think it is, but we're not sure yet. We're going to change sports after the break, which at least gives us a chance to get away from this appalling weather. We're going to go to athletics. We're going to see a preview of the European Athletics Championships beginning in Stuttgart next week. That's coming up in a moment or two. Well, while you've been watching that highly entertaining Truck Grand Prix there at Silverstone, I have to tell you that the stewards here in Birmingham have abandoned the Formula 3000 Super Prix, which is no great surprise. The reason, the heavy amount of water on the track, also the fading light, which I must confess was something I thought only happened in cricket. What it means is half points for the leading drivers, and we can see now how they finished when the race was abandoned. Luis Sala was in 1st place, Martini 2nd, Michel Furte 3rd, and you'll notice Russell Spence of Britain there in 6th place. And the overall position then after 9 rounds, or I guess you could say 8.5 rounds, Capelli still leads. He's 5 points ahead of Martini, his compatriot from Italy. Sala, the winner today, on 22.5 points. Fabre, Nielsen, Pirot and Furte. Well, Nigel Mansell, a bitter disappointment on what was going to be a historic and famous day. What do you think is the future of this event now, Nigel? Should they press on?
I think everybody's worked tremendously well. I think it's just a great shame that the elements have beaten us, but let's not forget the engineering of the course and all the excellent work everybody's done. And if it wasn't for the weather, it would have been a fabulous day.
Yes, it does make you wonder, though, doesn't it, when it rains like this and the race is almost inevitably abandoned, whether these sort of streets are suitable.
Well, no, I mean, even on a normal track condition, the weather could have possibly beaten the race today. And, of course,